there. That's there. Right, finally, okay. Just try to be getting set up. So today we are going to be working on some new areas and stuff like that that are going to be coming out in future red red animations. But I never usually stream to YouTube. I've always streamed to Twitch, so I'm just trying to get all my settings ready. Probably should have had all this done, but I didn't know how to like copy over my stuff. Okay. So, like I said, today we're going to be working on some set pieces. Now, there are two in particular that I want to get done today, and that's here's a fucking mess. There we go. Now no one can see the mess. So yeah, two in particular that I want to get done, which is the spring under the volcano and the village. So this was originally a level that I made years and years ago called New Province. However, it was horribly optimized. The houses were just so poorly optimized that it was almost impossible to make an animation here because it was starting to get laggy already and stuff like that. So I basically need to remake the village. But that's a good thing because I want to remake it because a lot of it was pretty guff to begin with. And it's changed quite a lot since my initial concept of it. So that's what we'll be doing today. And the cool thing is, I have a map of Solaria, which I can show you exactly where we're making and what we're making. Right, this handy dandy little thing. Right, so we'll be making New Province here. So this little town, we'll be making that today. And we'll be making this area. So the kind of lake that leads to the big river that'll lead to eventually down here. So yeah, I'm getting messages out the wazoo. Right, so I think I want to start with this one because this is the one that's the least done, and I'm going to have to basically be making buildings and stuff for this, so that'll take a lot longer. So let's hop into a wee bit of the creation process. Luckily, there's already a really nice volcano that I've been using this volcano since I started Dreams. Basically, it's the volcano that has appeared in practically every one of my games that have featured these characters. Right, try to think who actually needs to be here. I'll just take them all. So this is our main cast. They always get implemented first because they've got so much going on. But something that I need to do every time is take off Red's excess. Because Red was a game character first, he's got a lot of extra features that really just take up thermal for no reason, because obviously in an animation you're not controlling them, so you don't need the certain things that he takes up. So once that's gone, that saves us a good bit of thermal. There we go. Because we're going to be up close to the volcano this time, I do need to tighten it up a bit. The volcano's pretty bloody massive, so it's a proper volcano. So what we're going to do first, we're going to make a very bare bones version of the general area, because we need to make sure that we can fit it all in and it looks, you know, decent. So sun and sky. Let's get rid of the fog. Let's increase the sun a bit because we're out in the open. Make the sun non-visible. That's fine. Get rid of that. And then give the sky a bit more blueness. Okay. And another thing we do is get rid of the effects. So 0 bloom. Bloom, for whatever reason, I kept in my games until very recently, when I realised that it always created like a foggy layer over everything. Whenever I would take a picture of something on Dreams, it would always have like a foggy layer over it, like almost as if you put like a slightly darkened bit of glass over your camera to take the photo, and I could never figure out why until I went and turned off bloom and realised that, oh, it's that. So this is going to be massive. We do need to focus on the kind of main area. So this is just going to be a general shape, and any bits of detailed grass that we need will get added kind of after. But yeah, you want it big. The only thing about this is that it's always been quite I think that gets maybe rid of too much texture, but I can come back and I can kind of shape that up, because it's, I suppose when you start trying to make it look nicer, the kind of problems with it come out. So I think maybe we'll come back to the volcano to make it look nicer at some point. But let's just get our bare bones shape first. So we've kind of seen the shape of Solaria so far. We know that the volcano rests on the top left and the castle is kind of over here. Now we do know that the Dusky Hills kind of rests roughly about this area, but because we're going to be at the spring area for this, we don't really need to worry about it. So since this will be, again, we can hide everything that we don't want to be seen. Obviously there's the big kind of lock that kind of sits here, and then it splits into a river. So if we look at our characters, you've always got to kind of match up your characters as well, make sure that they're kind of in scale. So that looks like quite a big lock. Yeah. Now for things that are in the distance, green hills and stuff like that, you can kind of do this and just kind of encapsulate the area. I probably should have took a picture of the size, the bigger version that I had, but it's fine. It's not going to be a one-to-one recreation for obvious reasons. Now the volcano is surrounded by a forest. The only thing that we do need to get right is that stuff that you can see in the distance that you should be able to see. So for instance, you would kind of be able to see the castle, if the camera were to pan round. Good thing is the castle is not really going to be a main focus when we go to this location, but I do like tying things in and making sure that like everything is kind of together in some kind of cohesion. So I actually think this probably needs to be bigger, because it's a freaking volcano. It's not going to be. Still looks a wee bit small. Let's see it from Red's perspective. Right, okay, the ground is like too thin, so it's kind of making everything a wee bit wonky, but maybe make it just a wee touch bigger. Boop. And also the thickness of the ground. Actually making the ground thicker is a great idea, because it would be like that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, and now they can stand on it, which is awesome. Any part that they would actually be standing on though will be a lot kind of cleaner looking. But for the general distancing and stuff like that, this is fine. Forest background. Right, I have used this quite a good few times. It's actually really good in a pinch. So even if we end up changing a lot of this stuff, it's always good to just kind of have a basic kind of how things look. So this would be the deep woods that we've seen a few times before. It's probably a bit too close. Should actually probably be a bit smaller as well, because we're comparing it to a volcano here. And the volcano is kind of like a massive thing, so okay, it could probably stand to be a bit bigger, or at least a bit higher. There we go. So I'm really just trying to make it filled out as much as possible, because obviously, like, you'd be able to see a large part of Solaria if you were out in the open. You'd be able to see a large part of it. I don't want too many hills, because it's starting to look a bit kind of... Right, let's get a wee bit of the spray going, just so we can cover everything. Now this is probably going to look kind of doo-doo for a while. It's not going to look good until we've started to get like detail and stuff in, but I think once we do have some kind of stuff going, it'll look pretty good. So we're also going to have the town over in this general direction. Let's just kind of turn these a wee bit. Right, so you've got the town over this side. We want to kind of get in. Just need to make sure the town's in a relatively flat area, so if we just So we've got some bumps, but not too many. Another thing that we just need is the area where the castle is. And we'll basically just put a fake castle in there for now. And we also need Dusky Hills to kind of come to life. Dusky Hills is purposely discolored. But it does have quite high hills. Right, so if that's Dusky Hills, I'm going to have to make the hill that the castle is on a bit higher as well. Now, how much really is seeable from this? Okay. This really probably should be bigger again then. I feel like I'm kind of making everything around it too big and the volcano not that big. The volcano is like one of the defining factors of Solaria, so yeah, okay, that feels better. That feels more in scale to kind of what everything should be. Now we need fake trees to kind of make everything look good. So I'm going to make cohesion with them first. Okay. And this is basically just to shield kind of things that isn't supposed to get seen really at any point. And also places that you can kind of recognize in a sense. The good thing is these actually look really good at a distance. Up close you'd be like, but you know, at a distance it's kind of like, oh, there's some trees in the distance over there. And obviously the more you drop down, right, let's see how that looks. Okay, that actually looks pretty decent. The only thing that's kind of bumming me is the volcano itself. Because you can kind of see its flakiness because it's so big. But I think making it any tighter is just going to be... Oh yeah, that's adding so much. So much. Forgot to delete that. Right. And then just kind of make smaller parts to kind of get more detail. Because it only really does need to look good from one angle, fortunately. Does look a bit better. I think if we could shrink this down and kind of have like just a bunch of smaller, we will have like other rocks and stuff kind of like going near it, but just for now we don't want to cover up any trees that we just added. Right, let's start adding in the kind of finer detail. Let's go for a stone wall. Actually, hold on. Got some good forest stuff that I made. It kind of fits in with everything. This will kind of reconnect everything. So you don't always want to overdo it, but having reoccurring assets makes things recognizable. So it's kind of like, oh, you know, it's like, because you would kind of see similar trees in a close vicinity. So trees that are kind of closer to our characters can be a lot more detailed. You just can't overdo it, because as good as Dreams is, it has quite big limitations once you start adding a lot of assets. And we might see it because I feel like I've already added a lot of assets, but once it starts kind of taking a bit of time to load, that's when it really starts to bug me. Yeah, that's actually quite nice. And that's looking decent over there. I think maybe I've made the world maybe a bit too big. because everything just feels so massive and our characters feel tiny, especially this lake. Because obviously the bigger you make things, the less detail it gets in Dreams. So I'll keep making, and we'll see where we get to. But I like these rocks because they tend to tie things in, because I've used them in different places before, and they're quite unique looking in the sense that, you know, you'd be like, oh, they look like the rocks from Solaria sort of thing. So even if it's not something you would say out loud, it's like a mental connection. So you kind of know where you are because of certain geographical things, and they're really good for like closing in certain areas like the trees and stuff like that. It stops you kind of seeing things at too far of a distance. I've never really made an open location like this before, so this is quite a test for myself almost, to make sure that it looks semi-decent. Basically, this section of trees is the kind of clearing, you know, when you start to get out of a forest or the woods or whatever. It's not as dense. That's what I'm trying to simulate here, without making it kind of too much. Solaria is quite an interesting location because it's not quite tropical, but the island does stay quite warm throughout the year, so it has a lot of varying trees and stuff like that. It's very unrealistic, but hey ho. Who says everything has to be realistic? That's boring. Let's do this again. Actually, hold on. Right, put them together, then change. I just want to see how that actually looks right now. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's good. Once we get the kind of sizes. Now everything's foggy in the distance because it's going through Red's camera. But when you look at it like this, it's not, or bloody not foggy. Okay. I like it. Just need to get some more in the right place. Also varying sizes as well. Maybe some really big trees, some really small trees. A big tree next to a small tree and a tree next to a big tree. Turn them randomly so that there's no real kind of uniformity, because I know I did like copy them over. Down. Oh, this one's sunken. it big, put it up, make it small, put it down. I love set designing so much because it's so relaxing. You can just kind of turn off your brain and just go for it. And the good thing is, your instincts take over a wee bit. So if like something doesn't look right, or if you don't like something, you kind of focus back in. Right, that's pretty good. Happy with that. So what I'm thinking is there'll probably be maybe like a little cabin on this side. Try and keep all the close-up stuff on this side, and that way everything else can be like kind of distance based. Definitely think I've probably made this one too big. Yeah. Should be fencing and stuff like that anyway, so that's cool. Right. Let's do the blocks kind of wall. Can get it around there like that. Is it coming? Yes, it is. Kind of. Doesn't look great. Can go in and adjust. Most of this will be just covered up by water, so it won't really be an issue, but you still want to make as much nice as possible and try not to make it super uniform, because it's so rare that nature is like perfectly in sync. Right, now I'm just going to put down a faux kind of water. Oh. And this will be good because it will allow me to know I don't like the fact that it's not like perfectly level. It's kind of annoying. This isn't perfectly level. It's supposed to be on grid. It's annoying how not flat this is. Why did they make it so difficult to make this flat? Right, kind of raise it up a wee bit, as it would be. Okay, so now we've kind of got the water line, for this at least. I'll probably make a secondary water line for the actual sea. I hate that that isn't lining up. I'll just make a different one when it comes to that. Right. Okay, so now we can start to kind of get a better scope for how things are going to look. I don't really like the lighting. Rises in the east. So it's the west. Okay. Need to make this non-reflective. Okay, right. We're getting there. Certainly getting there. We will go around this again at some point and kind of hang stuff over, put out kind of wee sand dunes as well, because there would be a wee bit of sand forming. Well, that looks terrible. I suppose it's supposed to be embedded in, not just hanging out for the sake of it. Right. I do think I've made maybe the world just a bit too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab everything, except these guys, and shrink. Let's see how that feels. Okay, that feels a lot better. I think I can make those trees over there bigger now because I think they're probably too close to these characters' heights. For the types of trees they are, yeah, so I can make these bigger, fortunately. Which is good because that means they'll cover more distance. Actually, I can just make some of them bigger, I don't need to make all of them bigger. Straight. I'll probably need a more detailed fir tree if I get any closer. But they look pretty good. know what would happen if I were to try and tighten this ground. Literally can't. I think what I might do in a wee bit that's my favourite. Them. Take as well. How thingy does this? Is this all separate sculpts? That's it. Cool. Right. Now, something that this place is known for is the creepy trees. Let's actually just compare them to our characters first, because we don't want them to be too big. Yeah, okay. These will just be kind of dotted about. Actually, these are really mainly more for background. Turn them so that they don't look too uniform. And then what we'll do here is I will eventually turn these kind of, just make sure that they're kind of accurate height. Yep. Get a bit of greenness into them. Now the whole point of this, we don't actually need to turn them because we're going to be hiding a lot of this stuff. Dusky Hills is kind of like Solaria's graveyard where people are buried, but it's also home to various characters that if you've played the game, you know kind of who lives there. But because the animations, they take place in a time when you haven't met these characters yet in game form, and Red hasn't met them, so it's kind of difficult to have them show up in animations, which is a shame because I've thought of a few cool stories in which you could have them, but just because of how the game goes and stuff like that, if I just randomly introduce Red to them, it kind of takes away a lot of different experiences and stuff like that, so you just can't do it. And then this is where this wall comes in. It's a bit shiny though, so I'm going to and the wall will kind of only show up I've instantly went back on what I was originally planning on doing, but I suppose sometimes you need to do that. why I'm making this more difficult for myself instead of just shrinking the tree, but I suppose we do need to make it look good as well. Can't all just look the exact same. But it's cool because when you start making things like this and you've got stories that have taken place or are going to take place in them, it really also just kind of helps you build more, in a sense. Okay for certain ones to go up, certain ones to go down. Oh, from a distance that looks pretty good. We will need to add in all the houses and stuff like that. But I'm pleased. Let's get a few more of these trees up here to kind of fill it in a wee bit and make everything kind of come together. I don't know if that hurts or not. I think it works over here, maybe not so much here. Right, let's see. Do I still have it? Dusk House. Yeah, baby. Yes. We got 2 versions of it. That's good. How much? What's the thermal at? Oof. Well, luckily these are going to be so far away. You're not going to see them. I'm pretty sure I made quite a couple of houses as well. No, what was it called? Probably named it something stupid like Spooky House. Spook Assets. I'm a moron. Damn it, I was worried about that. Yeah, that looks far too detailed to add in anyway. But I'm pretty sure that came with other houses, but it's fine. What I can do is rip some of the stuff off this. Because there's a whole ton of people that live over here. I suppose if you turn it, you can make them smaller as well. Okay, that looks not too bad. In fact, what you can do is simply just make all the houses black. That way you can have a ton of them. But you can only kind of see their silhouette. Yeah, there we go. And now that looks like a wee town in its own sort of thing. Okay. So now I do need to kind of put stuff in front of it though. Because the camera will never really focus on it, or at least I'm not planning on it to, so I don't need to worry about things over in this general direction. It's just in case like the camera focuses on a character and you see this in the background, I don't want it to just like look like crap just because you only see it for 2 seconds. I do need everything to look semi-decent, you know? Right, that's good. Well, I might actually... get a couple of these trees in here. Get one of these over here. And then just kind of dot a couple of these trees about, because this is where the mine is, and you visit where the mine is in game, so you kinda need to have a wee bit of consistency. I've made some very shiny trees. Right. Okay. I'm starting to kind of see it come together, which is awesome. I need my cloud box. Wee custom cloud box. There we go. That fills up the sky really nicely. Love it. Could probably stand to be a wee bit higher just because it's a bit low to the ground, but yep. Fantastic. And now it's not just like blue sky and it's kind of like too much to see. Maybe it would be better if it didn't have all this stuff on it. I definitely think I need to make some darker parts of the stone. Distance doesn't look good. Okay. Right, and then what I'm going to do with this piece is actually make it just a bit darker. Just one shade darker. and then start sticking that in different locations. Maybe even make this piece even darker. What kind of pieces would be the darkest? Probably the closest to the top, right? Because that's like constantly getting the heat. Can't really tell with the... You know what? Instead of trying to make it... I think I could make it... smaller, but... Probably going to delete the kind of the back side of it, because there's a lot of pieces here that just don't need to be here at all. Like that. Like all this. None of this needs to be here. If it's not going to be on camera, it does not need to be there. As long as it looks good from one side, I'm happy. Okay. Right, I feel like I've gave it a bit of a different shape. Although, is it just me or does this seem awfully shiny? Yeah, there was a shine to it. Right. Get rid of that. Get a wee bit more dark rock in. There's almost like a weird kind of crust going over it. It doesn't need to be there. It does look a bit better. I'll say that now that there's a bit more variety to it. So let's keep going. Let's make this a bit darker. Don't want it to be too much. Maybe instead of making some kind of new kind of rocks, because there are rocks that surround this thing, but maybe instead of making them out of new pieces and then having to bump up the thermal that way, what I could do is just be sneaky about it. That's one thing that I don't think a lot of people realised until very late in the game with Dreams, is that you do need to be quite smart with how you place things, and it's something that I've struggled with a lot as well, where I've just like dump asset after asset and and then being like, oh, that'll look great, and then, you know, suddenly my dream is like filled up of too much nonsense. I think that the bits are too light, or a wee bit too light. Yeah, okay. We're getting there. Definitely getting there. I think now that it's quite far away, because you don't want to get up close to it. Yeah. Right. I did also bring a wee rock here, so add that into various locations, and that can cover up the kind of less detailed stuff. Because that's really what you want to do, is get as much out of your thermal as possible without giving up too much detail. So if you can kind of make big, not great looking stuff and then kind of hide it behind the kind of better looking stuff, then, you know, everything starts to kind of come together. I'm actually really happy with how this looks so far. Right, here comes a part that is going to start to make stuff look better. Specifically the grass, because the grass is kind of letting everything down, but that's because it's so big that there's like too much kind of going into it. Let's do this. I'll start the thing that I just said I was going to start. I definitely need to add in some kind of sandbanks as well. Now I'm also trying to think of characters that need to be in here, because we're pretty high up on the thermal. Now obviously we can go through a big full pass and start kind of decreasing the quality of everything. That's not really an issue. And we'll probably get like a good couple of % out of some of the trees and some stuff like that. But I'm trying to think of the reason this stuff is here. And none of these characters, other than maybe Froggo, is in this animation. So I can probably get away with deleting a couple of them. Right. So this is going to be what adds in a lot of the detail and hides a lot of the kind of bad stuff. We're just going to do it in small patches. This isn't going to look good at first, but always trust the process. Always trust the process. Probably went a bit too small here at first. Right. Now if I start planning out where the action is going to take place, so I think maybe about here. So if this is where the cabin is, I really do hope this ends up looking good, because if it doesn't, it's going to be a problem. But I think it will. Right. We also want to make sure that there's room for things like pathways and stuff like that. It looks a bit dodgy right now because for some reason it's got a bit of a shine to it, but that won't be there soon. Right, let's go with that so far. And let's get it, let's beautify it. First we're going to make it grass. I'm going to make it in pastel. And we'll take one of those down. So let's see how it kind of looks in practice. Right, that is a bit too shiny. Okay, yeah. Maybe a bit too much in pastel. So what we'll do is we'll go back in. Just decrease it ever so slightly. That way it's not like insane. And now you've got a kind of grassy landscape. Even though the stuff that we're touching is supposed to be the grassy landscape, we've got like a proper, and then we can go in and kind of start adding where we want more grass, where we think more grass should be. Now, obviously most of this would just be covered in grass anyway. But I don't want to overdo it. Because obviously the bigger you make it, the less it's going to get more and more kind of similar to the stuff that we're standing on. And this is supposed to be the detailed stuff, so you kind of want it to be not too big. I think I might have actually already made it too big. So then you can kind of have it kind of coming around the edge here as well, kind of making this bit a bit better too. can also flip it. So find the curve. Might not work. It doesn't quite work when you do it like that. You can barely see it. And then you can even add in like another type, so maybe like a lighter version. Now all this does do is it does take up a good bit of thermal, but it, you know, you can see for yourself the results are pretty good. And it does make your scene look a bit more kind of detailed. Use that to hide all this as well. Hey, Cybervirus, thank you for popping over. Welcome to the studio side. Right, so now that we've got the second part of grass, we can start making that actually look like grass. Grass it up, give it a bit of pastel to make it grassy, and then you can take down the detail because it's grass. That way you're saving thermal and you're getting some decent looking grass from it as well. And then suddenly, boom, you've kind of got a lot more detail to work with in your area. Now obviously if you're doing a game, you kind of need to detail everything because the player can kind of get into all the different crevices and areas that you've built. But if you're making something like I'm making, which is animation, then you only really need to worry about where the player can, or where the viewer can see. Now if all the detail is happening in kind of this general vicinity, obviously some camera angles may show you here, may show you there, so I need to put something there to make it a bit more interesting and stuff like that. But you don't need to worry about them running over here and being like, oh, this grass isn't really working. So now the only thing that we do need to worry about is this kind of stuff here, the curvature of the area. Now you can go in and kind of detail it with grass so that you can give it a proper lip, and therefore you don't need to worry too much about the area itself. Just Just always try and match it to your characters as well, because you don't want to like have grass that's like covering or that's like taller than your characters, unless it's specifically like long grass. But there we go. Now that we've given that a bit of detail, you can't really see the kind of iffiness of the edge as much anymore, and it becomes a kind of, you've created a bit of an area. Now there's going to be a house here, there's going to be some other details and stuff like that, so it doesn't really need to be a proper grassland. So you can maybe like go into your kind of pails and start making like a grounded area. Try not to go into your grass as well, because it doesn't really make sense for grass to be growing on the ground. And you kind of want to see that kind of like walk off. Whereas Betsy, she would love this place. She's still in Village U, don't you worry. And Betsy's growing. Betsy's growing really well. It's funny looking back to the size of the cow at the start of Village U to where she is now. Like, she's so much bigger. I'm going to miss Village U when it ends. But it was a really fun experiment. Right. Okay, so now we've kind of created our ground area. Now, there is a wee bit of an issue. I hate the fleck look. I've always disliked flecks and dreams. Now, what I can do is just make this area like a mud kind of area, which I might do, but remember, if you're fighting against the thermal, you really need to kind of pick and choose your battles. But if we want things to look cohesive, mud Pikmin. Actually could maybe work. Let's try this real quick. Just real quick. Okay. Obviously it's going to look a bit too uniform right now. Can fix it up in 2 wee seconds. Right. We can go in. Once you start flipping stuff and making stuff bigger or smaller, that's when you start adding your own kind of zest to it. Random idea I thought of for paper characters who are made of metal, make them look like aluminum foil. That's actually a really cool idea. That would be really cool. Something that I'll definitely need to think about when I'm making the game in Unreal Engine. It's a shame Village U doesn't have any combat, but it was designed to like not really be that as interactive as combat would need it to be. Right. So suddenly this area has become a lot more detailed, probably a wee bit too much because the way this is, like, that doesn't look nice, so we probably need to make that smaller. But suddenly this area, you know, you can you can see things kind of happening and coming together. What we could do is make it smaller and then hide it within the grass. So if we just copy that to here. Okay, right, now red can like properly walk on it without actually getting stuck in the mud. I could probably make it a bit smaller, but this actually does do it a lot of justice now, because now the area actually looks like, you know, it looks detailed. And it makes red stand out as well, because obviously the more detail you put around red, the more red in the area start to contrast, which is actually quite a good thing, because red's such a simplistic character design. It doesn't have like any, you know, super small bumps or details and stuff like that. He's a relatively smooth character, so when you put him next to things that are quite detailed, he suddenly pops out quite a bit. And for an animation that's focused on him, that's something that you want. I think for now I'm going to get rid of these characters because they are eating up my thermal big time. I'm also going to go into this and start deleting stuff that you can't see. Oh, you can see that. Always try and be smart with your thermal as well. You can't see that, so that's cool. Keep that in. Right, this is a lot of dirt, and unfortunately whenever I hit reset, you'll notice there's a clock down the bottom right. That starts to make you lag a bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a 4x4. Yeah, look at all that you can't even see. That's a big waste, massive waste. I can still how many individual pieces is this? Right, you know what? We're going to remake this, and then the rest is going to be right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go, 49. That's going to be our kind of main area of detail. And then of course we just go in and make some smaller, make some different. That way it doesn't look like it's too much. You can kind of make the outside ones a bit bigger, because red isn't really going to be stepping on that. anything that red's going to be stepping on, you genuinely or generally want to make it small so that you can actually like step over it, because fortunately with these types of mud tiles, they tend to be a wee bit loose, with like just random wee bits of debris floating. At a distance it looks good, up close it looks really bad. Now obviously once we've got our house and stuff like that, we'll be probably deleting a couple of these as well, because these are quite costly just because of how they're made, so. And if we just lift it up a wee bit, just a wee bit. Right, then you just want to add in some grass, not too much. And that'll kind of hide the kind of unnecessary details that you don't want to be seen. And then you can kind of have your detailed area not be ruined by the fact that they can see undetailed ground. So I still need to add in the castle and everything. This is going to be quite a difficult one to pull off without too much. Hey, what's up, Salt? How you doing? To be honest, maybe we don't even actually need this dirt. Maybe this dirt's a bit too much, because it almost looks a wee bit out of place. I know that's a lot less detailed, but I think this might be the play. But what I'm going to do now is, for stuff that you can't see, excuse me. Ooh, furnishing your apartment. That's exciting. I'm doing good, man. I'm just, I've been working away on these animations because I've been, like, super excited about them. So that's kind of where I've been putting in a lot of my time and focus recently. Yeah, Cyber, maybe. I definitely think some sort of difference would be good. Right, getting thermal back one piece at a time, which is always good. This also makes the ground a bit tighter as well. Can we tighten that up now a wee bit? No. Well, you know what? What if, see, because it's actually quite hidden now, what if we took a large chunk of this area and made it its own? Boom. There we go. Yes, now we can make this tighter. Look at that. Where's it cut off? Right, okay. So then we hide that, you know. We hide the kind of part that's not as detailed, but at least now this part in particular it's a bit tighter, it looks a bit nicer. And we can also kind of fill about with the flex. And again, not a big fan of the flex, never have been, but if you have to use them, that's actually not bad. What's it you said? Round or splatter? Okay, those ones aren't too bad. Round ones are not bad. Let's see what it looks like without flex completely. Oh, I don't know. Is this maybe just a bit too bare? I know we could add in more detail, but it's difficult. It's very difficult. I'm also going to do something once again. Make everything just a bit smaller. Except the volcano. Yeah, now that I've started to shrink things, I feel like the size of everything is starting to get a bit truer to how it should be. I think I made everything a bit too big at the start. And I think we actually do need to bring these flex back. At least to some degree. What would it be like if I started tightening up the grass? Oof. Oh, you can only tighten that once. Tightening it up actually did make it a wee bit better, a wee bit more. Okay. Okay. So you've got the deep woods over there. The town is over there, which we will need to see. So let's actually go out. So if you want, picture what you're seeing right now, right? This is how it looks from an aerial view with a bit more detail. Now let's go into the map. Volcano. Exterior. And they are salt, they're a lot of fun to make. It just feels good being able to tell red stories again without also having to like spend a year making them. Right, let's find our map. There it is. Okay, so we are currently making this area. This is what we're currently making. Okay, so you've got the big kind of trees here. Oh, right, okay, so this is actually really wide and it opens into two rivers. Okay, I'll need to, right, okay, so if we're here, this is roughly where the volcano is. As you can see, it's the same model of volcano. So I guess it's more there, and actually Dusky Hills is actually hidden more. I think I might have goofed myself. I think I'm actually revealing too much. And this makes sense that Dusky Hills would be hidden more. I think we need to go in and make Dusky Hills hidden. We also need to kind of get in more of these kind of mountain stuff. We need to make this bigger, and we need to get these kind of rocks in as well. And then of course we've got the actual town. So if you're standing here, right, let's say this is where the animation takes place. So you can see the castle, and you can see parts of the town. You cannot see Dusky Hills due to the trees. And there's also, I was right, there's trees that cover here as well. Technically you can see into the distance over there, so might need to work on that. No worries, Cyber Virus. Have a good time doing what you're doing. Also, the volcano is really, really big, especially compared to the palace. Okay. Right. Well, this is good. This is good to know, because now that we're back here, let's have a look. So you can see the volcano. You will be able to see the castle. The town will be there. This river's supposed to be bigger. Okay. Yeah, so I've put too much here. The river should actually be cutting out rounder here. Okay. Right, well, let's... I guess you just can't you see this? It's pointless having it. It's covered by large forest. Suppose that does save. It is a shame, because it would be cool to be able to see it, but we will eventually get back here. This is where the Halloween episode took place, so I want to find those background trees again that I had, because they actually look pretty good. Background trees. Was it these? No, I'm using those. They were kind of taller, weren't they? Oh, they actually look really nice. I know these aren't the ones I was looking for, but multiple frames turn on, turn off frame animation. Ah, I see what he's talking about. What if I just want this? Oh, what if I want both of these actually? I like these. Isn't that good? Oh, that's great. That's so good. This is kind of perfect, right? Let's match it up to red and team. Oh, it's quite tall, so at least that. to line these up a bit more. I think a line would do good up here. Because now that I know that you can't really see past this area, so this actually needs to be turned green again. Make Solaria green again. There we go. I need to fill this in so it's squish it down a bit. Right, let's see how that looks. Kinda doo-doo, kinda looks bad. Let's make it so spread out. Okay. That's I wouldn't say better, but it's, you know, also realised that the volcano is kind of in the lock rather than, so I think we need to make the lock bigger. Actually, we definitely need to make the lock bigger. So even went up to about here. Delete these trees. Goodbye, trees. You are never going to survive, fools. Right. I can maybe save these ones. There we go. Right, that's starting to actually look a bit more like how it was. I'm not really feeling my rock walls, the wee walls that I've put in to kind of, they look too manufactured. But this is part of the course. Got to, right, so this bit as well is supposed to be a much bigger and then it kind of, so one kind of goes this way. And let's make, I guess, just the other go this way. which means we need to get rid of a lot of this. And get rid of a lot of this. I should also probably just make this fit in more of that. Okay, I feel like we're starting to finally kind of find it. It's starting to look a bit more natural now that I've kind of went back and looked at the source. Now there is a kind of rock in the middle of the water and stuff like that, which we can add in. But the lake itself looks a bit more natural, and I think instead of doing the kind of rock wall thing, I think we'll just add in rocks to the side. Yeah, just add. There we go. Just add that there. So then you've covered up the big gap. It's a bit more difficult this side. That's where the curve is, so bring this to it. Cover up with that. So Salt, how's the music stuff been going? You been sticking at it? There we go. I think the light grass that I've done is probably a bit too light. Can probably bring it back a bit. Doesn't need to be as dark, but definitely shouldn't be as light. I'm at it pretty much every day now. Nice. Good. There we go. That's much better. Right. Let's see about this. One of my old wee tricks I used to do with pastel, stretch it. shine. The days have been consisting of school for the first half. I'm doing an apprenticeship at a lighting tech for students at school. Then I've got home and work on music related stuff. Not bad, man, not bad. Sounds like you're working pretty hard. So slightly. Come on. Oh, down a wee bit. Right a wee bit. Up a wee bit. Up a wee bit. That's too much. Oh, this is such a pain in the arse. It's because this thing isn't level. It's at some weird kind of angle. And it's my fault. Should have did it on this. Well, good man, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Right, that's flat. Move it this way, move it down. Okay, I'll need to build up some more bits. But that's good, at least it's flat. Where's that block? There it is. Right. Okay, and also the square fleck didn't do what I was hoping it would, so why don't we try with a wee cheeky round boy? To make it as small as possible, so we can make it as long as possible. Stretch it, duplicate it. Has to be this way. Spread it. Copy. Scale jitter. This, that, this, and that. Probably didn't need to make it as long as I did, but here we are. Not bad, but I made it too small. Needs to be somewhere in between the way I made it and not the way I made it. Right, I think maybe this size would work. No, this size. Yeah. Boom. Spread. Copies. Scale jitter. Make it straight. Actually, don't make it stretch. But flatten it. Do this to that. Do this to that. Do that to this. Boom. There we go. It's got that shine. Move it up a wee bit. Boom. Can we make this shiny? There we go. And that's got a nice shine coming in from the sun. Okay. Now we're going to try something else. And this will give the water a really nice look. So I actually just realised I've got a couple of animations that are going to take place in this area. So they've got to be kind of... One includes him actually going into the water. So I've got to make sure that the water's looking pretty tasty. So we'll just put this on the same level as the water. Boom. Take that off, put that back on. Right, I'll need to do this in stages. bit of extra detail in there, because why not? Who doesn't like a wee bit of extra detail? Come around here. Some wee breaks in the wave. Sometimes give it a wee double wave. That's horrible. Give it a better double wave. Kind of inside wave here. Okay, now we're going round here again. Can I give it some breaks? That's terrible. And I'm imagining the rocks to be kind of in this area here. That's a penis. Please ignore that. I just realised I'm on my family-friendly studio channel, not my Reds Katsu channel, so. No worries, Salt. Catch you later. Thank you for stopping by. Right. Okay. What we want to do is stretch this. Actually, maybe not stretch it. In pastel and make it a bit thicker. Then throb. Actually, what we do want it to stretch. So we've got the white outline running around most of the stuff. Now we need a big rock. Realistic rock? I think it's too realistic, especially next to... Let's get Dwayne the Johnson Rock. Dwayne the Johnson Jake. I do like using the craggy rocks. They also fit in with the volcano a wee bit. Anything I can do to get a wee bit more detail into the thing, because I won't lie, at a distance the volcano looks pretty good. Up close it's a wee bit guff. Oh, where'd it just come from? Oh, I totally forgot these. Do I need more trees? They look pretty good though. Right, back to the rocks. this rock wall. Probably should have added these rocks before I did the white outline, because it's kind of making that pointless now, but oh well. Probably make these trees bigger, because we've actually shrunk them twice now without fixing their size. There we go. Okay, definitely getting there. Right, now we do need to add one. We need to make this more on mainland. Can shrink it down a wee bit, I suppose. Yeah, that's pretty good. Can get rid of this. Right, now this is where the town is going to be, so it kind of needs to... Town is actually really canon in how it looks, so we're going to have to be close to how we're doing this. Luckily, a lot of this won't actually be seen anyway, so that's good. Right, that's actually really good. I'm actually going to... Right. Let's see who that is. Okay, so now we just need the castle in that direction. And this area will be pretty close to being finished. Right, so first I still need a rock. I did not get one. So we do. Maybe not, it's a bit guff. Kind of looking for something that's in between. Oh, I think this is the one that I actually used for the... Oh, didn't mean that. Right, this one makes sense because obviously if it was like in the water, it would be gaining that sweet Let's get this scattered about some locations. This is a really good rock. Makes a lot of sense that this would be kind of in certain places, mainly just because of the I can get rid of these because they didn't really fit the vibe. Other sides, since it's got the most grass. Oh yeah. This is starting to look. This is what we needed. We still need a wee bit of sand. I know just the sand model, but for now, this is pretty good. Let's get one of these wee sand models. Oh. This one here. Yes. And this is perfect for... I love this sand model. I use it anytime I've needed sand, I've used it because it's just kind of perfect. It always fits. I really should have done all this detailing before I added in the white waves, but oh man, yeah, that adds in so much, especially the splits between different rocks. It just kind of makes sense that it would be there. Let's see how this is. Oh, come on. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is looking grand. The detail and the distance and stuff like that. Specifically over this way is looking really good. Can we get away with adding in these rocks here? It's kind of like in crevices and stuff like that. Maybe this is the key to getting detail for the volcano. Adding in random assorted stones and stuff like that. Making the volcano out of different rocks. Especially just in the locations where the volcano doesn't look that great because of like certain stuff. Don't know. I know that doesn't fit in there, so. Get that out there. Oh yeah, that's starting to look a lot better to me as well. See, the volcano shape is really good, but I think adding in like your own stuff to just kind of make it perfect is really the way to go. Because you don't need to like hide every part of the original volcano that I'm using. Let's see how that looks from down here. Oh man, are you kidding? That looks great now. I do want to give it its signature ring. Evaporate. Maybe make it a bit thinner. Yes! Probably going a bit too fast with the evaporate. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's great. That's good. It's really starting to come together, which is awesome. Get a wee dot going. How much thermal was that? 2? Like this. Oh. The way they've done this is really dumb. Nope, can't use that. Wooden pier. Yeah, okay, wooden pier. Probably goes this way. Yeah, it does. You know what? And we've saved quite a bit of thermal, which means we can really start to kind of bump up certain things. There we go. Could probably stand to make it a bit smaller. It's just supposed to be a little fishing pier. It's really these that are kind of... Just get myself a wee longer one of these bad boys. Just keep up that motif that they've got going on. You can jam it into the side here. Doesn't need to be. I don't know why I'm trying to make it symmetrical, like it matters. Smaller. Jam it down once more. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. I'll get some wee stairs or something. Fill up that. Okay. Wee robot. I think I'll need that for upcoming animation. Oh, that's a very nice robot, but how over the top is it? Oh, that's a one piece. Okay, okay, okay. Yes. I love it. Oh, that's the only issue is the second you put it into the water, takes on the water. Oh, thank you very much for the sub. Really appreciate it. For now we'll just keep it there. Completely missed it. No, it's goofed. Nice. Okay, so if I ever have Red go into the boat, I'm going to have to be smart with the camera angles so that I don't capture the water that's in the boat. Right, okay. So we need a cabin. The day's going really well, thank you. I'm just trying to get some set pieces done for an upcoming animation that I'm doing. Yeah. So it's been a pretty productive day, to be honest. What about yourself? Have you been up to much? Hope your day's going good as well. Let's just get stairs added in now so I don't forget. Stairs. Just one simple little wooden stairs. Nothing crazy. Simple little wooden stairs. Okay. Maybe we'll find something here. This actually might be kind of perfect. Smaller. So I don't think I need to make it smaller, just this is Dreams for the PS4 and PS5. I use it to make animations. If you look at any of my other content on the channel, everything that's animated, everything that's cartoonish was made with using this program. Actually, I kind of want this to be less dark than brown. Okay. Stairs are here. Right. Now, the issue with the castle is that I've not really settled on a design for how I want my castle to look. But just so that we can kind of see, let's have a wee look at the castles that we've got. That Disney castle looks stunning, by the way. Where was that? That genuinely looks really nice. Oh, of course, it's too much detail. Besides, it's Disney castle, we don't want to get destroyed by Disney. But we do want... I would like the castle to be somewhat like this. I love the kind of the pyramid style of it. Did I see like a cheaper Disney castle? Yeah. Can we get this in? Right, okay. For a distance thing, actually, you know what? Just as this is right now, just so that we can see how the castle's going to look in the distance. It can't be as tall as the volcano, obviously. That's as tall as the volcano. Right. Let's match it to our characters. Right, okay, so that's... God, it looks... It's pretty freaking tiny when you think about it. castle is tiny when you look at it from a distance. Right, we'll keep just this for now so that I've kind of got a reference on where I want the castle to be. I don't think I want it to be this tall. Let's just take all the detail off it since it'll be super far away. It's no point wasting thermal on something that you can barely see. Let's make it there, right? And then let's make it a bit bigger. How's that look? Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, I like the distance. Now we need to get the town. So we do have a look for the town. I'm pretty sure there is like a small background town that you can get. Town. So just a bunch. Ah, here we go. This is what I was after. Right. Okay, now we've got to build this to the size of our characters so that the reference can be. There we go. So that's about the size. Right. Now you're not really going to be able to see properly into this because the town is like covered in walls. But in the off chance. Is there any way I can get the stuff that I've already built for the town in? Come on. Damn it. Unless I were to severely shake down some of the thermal costs on this stuff. I don't think this is still going to work, but let's see. Ah, no, damn. Actually, you know what? If we get rid of the castle, yeah. So I only need some stuff from this, so not too much. Right, for instance, you. I do need you. I do need you. I'll need a very weak version of you. A very weak version of you. Okay. The rest can go. Right. For one, get rid of the doors. Do not need doors, do not need windows. Any small detail stuff does not need to be on these. This clock does not need to be on it. This door doesn't need to be on it. This door doesn't need to be there. Right, now, so this is on a hill. Wait, is this proportionate to the size of the characters? God, it is. It seems so small, but it is. Which makes this far too big. Well, that far too big. These need to be smaller. Right, now I know this is on a hill, so that's on a hill. There's some buildings that kind of go beside each other here. One's there. You've got buildings on this side as well. I suppose we can add in a wee back version of that here. Back version of that. Right. Don't need those. Don't need that. Right. Now I basically just need to take all the detail out of these. This is we're seeing from so very far away. It's really just the colours that you need to put kind of 2 and 2 together for. Right, you're most definitely not going to be able to see this, but in the off chance, just in the off chance. I just realised the distance between these two bits is actually quite thin here. This is a bridge. There we go. No one's going to know that this is just that turned on its side. Okay, now this is here. Now there is a big wall that goes around both of these areas. This one's smaller. Okay. Alright, then we need a fake version of buildings here. Including these ones. If I make this grey, Right, let's see how that looks from a distance. Oh yeah, okay. Okay. That's pretty nice. Get that bridge looking thing there. Yeah, okay. Pretty happy with that. Now, kind of residential quarters is kind of like round both the sides of town. I want that to be a bit smaller. Cool. That's great. Right, the only real thing now is this area. So the castle would be here, which means this has got to be a hill, because right now it's a wee bit low to the ground. There's a hill here. It's funny how much you can kind of get away with when it's so far away. Like, it makes you realize, like, even like AAA devs that are, you know, making these massive games, how much like they can get away with like the details so far away, because it's like you're never going to see it. They must hate it when people boundary break and it's like you can just see all the places like they skimped. Right. Oh. Okay, so the last thing that I need to do for the area is the castle, or for the background stuff is the castle. Once the castle's done, we're kind of golden. yeah, once the castle's done, that'll be the background stuff done, which means we can start to focus on the cabin itself, and maybe a few more things up close and stuff like that, because obviously we'll need sound design, which will be like water effects and stuff like that, because we're obviously next to a kind of a moving river. We'll need some kind of water moving effects as well. Yeah, but we're close. This was good. So yeah, I think that is a good place to stop it for today. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. We've got it pretty accurate to the actual map as well, which is good. It turned out really nice, and now we've got a brand new location for animations and stuff like that. There will always be a few more little hidden details and stuff to go in, but I think for now we're in a good place. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this chilled out create session. I do plan on doing more of this, just because like creating areas like this takes so long to do, and sometimes I get a bit bored, so it would be nice to like chat to people and stuff like that. So this has been fun, being able to chat to people while working on stuff. Yes, until then, I'll see you. I think our new animations, we've got a lot of them in the works right now. I was honestly hoping to have one done already by this week, but a few things kind of held me back, and we're for the animations, we're a wee bit in the testing phase right now, where we're kind of trying to decide how long an animation is going to actually take to make, and obviously once you start making new levels or new areas, plus you have to make new kind of characters for those areas to inhabit it, it, you know, makes it take a bit longer, but we'll get there. Eventually we'll have every place done. I'm hoping that 2025 will be a good year for having a lot of stuff just ready to go and just like placed down, so that it's like, oh, I've got an idea for an animation, here's the actors, here's the area, now I can just animate. But yeah, we'll see. Again, thank you so much for the support, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, or the next video that I release.